Hi, Mrs. Strauss. We have to squeeze into this, this small screen. I have 18 questions because all I could come up with was one extra question. I'm so sorry, my brain decides to not work sometimes. This is Mama. This is Daddy. Sorry, Daddy. That's Eddie. And the other one's inside on the computer. So, let's get this started. Oh, great. Does the time show up? Oh, it does. Okay. First off, this is a very tough one. How long have you been married?
10 years.
Was it fun? That's not a question. But was it fun?
What, getting married?
The last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yay! This is awkward. Número dos. I can speak Spanish. How old were you when you met each other?
We'll be together 13 years. I'm good.
You said you
25.
could play with my phone.
I was 25. You were
I was
26.
26 now.
Yeah.
25, 20. No, dude, this is not the best time. 3. I don't even know what this word means. Describe your courtship.
Our courtship, well, we dated for a while, going out to dinner, movies, and concerts, and a lot of stuff involved taking you places, and pumpkin picking, and
Oh, that
stuff
was
like
fun.
that.
Philadelphia.
Philly was fun.
We traveled.
Yeah.
Baltimore was also fun. You stayed right across the street from the Ravens, right? Oh, this is not going to end well with him. Oh, this is not going to go well.
That was our basic courtship.
4. Why did you decide to get married?
No!
No, dude.
Come to mommy.
Dude. Hey, Mr. Strauss, at least it's going to make the 10-15 minute mark, right? I know you can't reply. I'm just trying to make awkward banter.
Why did we decide to get married?
Yes.
Because we loved each other. Well, at least for me, I knew I loved your mother, and she loved me. And I felt it was the next step
No.
in many levels.
Also, that wasn't no to you. He was about to grab Corky.
No, I agree. Yeah, it was just.
Aww, you two loved each other. You were like two birds in a tree singing songs to each other. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Love you, love you, love you. And he has iced tea now. I probably should have not left it out. 5. Describe your engagement.
This is all you.
Brief. We had a very brief engagement. We got married relatively quick after I asked your mother to marry me. And we didn't see the need for a long engagement. We knew each other quite well by that point. We've been together for a while. We were meant to be, so why delay it?
Oh, it's so cute. You said you're meant to be. You two love each other. Aww, it's so cute. True love. I'm sorry, I actually have an excuse to do this right now, so I'm going to take advantage of it while I can.
All right.
Well, he gets more props. 6. How old were you when you got married?
28, 29.
28 and 29, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 10 years. Not to make you guys feel old. That was not my intention. I'm so sorry.
Thanks.
Here, hugs. Apology hugs.
Thanks. You made us.
Yes, that's my senior. Can I have my senior survival kit? Yeah, I'm keeping it in good shape. I'm taking it to college with me. I need some kind of god when I'm in college, I'm sure.
Thank you.
7. What were you looking for in a spouse?
Honesty. We have things in common.
Kermit, apparently.
Kermit.
I needed somebody that was going to be a good mother and a good, not homemaker, but somebody I could count on to, when I work overnights. I know it sounds silly, but that definitely came into my mind, if be able to function with my job and everything else.
My brain just had a huge fart. I don't know why. I forgot what I was about to ask or say or something. 8. Wait, yeah, 8. How does the reality of marriage compare to your expectations of what marriage would be?
I'll go first. I don't care. It differs a lot. I mean, everything when you're growing up that you hear about marriage, unfortunately, is not fairy tales, but it's the good things.
Oh, yeah.
You hear the good things. Nobody ever wants to tell you that it's going to be hard. And there's going to be times you have to try. It doesn't just come to you naturally. I mean, I guess maybe for some people it does, but I think you need to work a little bit in marriage, and they don't prepare you for that.
I agree 100%. They make it out in TV land that it's this perfect lovey thing, and
Big white wedding, and then they live happily
Yeah.
ever after with the car, but on the back there are cans and the painting that says
and
"Get hitched."
in marriage is work. You have to work together to make everything.
The human connection. Evolutionary. See, I learned something, Mrs. Strauss, in class this year. I'm applying what I've learned. We did learn about the human connection.
Oh God.
Oh, I love you, pal.
9. Ooh, this is gonna be a fun one. How do children affect marriage? I'm sorry.
Positively and negatively.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it's good in both ways. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think there were times that we might not have survived. In all honesty, if it wasn't for the kids, for you kids. We love you guys so much that whatever nonsense we had going, we worked through it, because we didn't want to affect our relationship with you guys.
We were a reason to keep going.
Yes.
Yeah. Incentive to keep going.
Yeah.
My love for her is always a reason to keep going, but, in terms of, taking a break and trying to rebuild, not wanting to do that to you guys. And in terms of, a good way, I mean, marriage is fun with kids. You get to do kids stuff.
Like we probably
It's
it's
never,
not so
for
boring.
example, we would have never probably gone back to Disney World if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? And then going to even Hershey and with you kids and everything. It wasn't. You don't get to do the fun stuff with
Oh, eventually.
Adventureland. We don't get to go on roller coasters, and have fun.
Well, he's going to set up back there. Maybe he's gonna make his own video. He's jealous of us. 10. How I can speak, I promise. How important are money in marriage?
Money and marriage, or money in marriage?
Money and marriage.
This is a two-way different question. If you're asking which is more important, marriage or money, I would take my marriage over any amount of money in the world. If you're asking me if I think money is required to make a marriage work to a certain extent, yeah. I don't even know if I answered the question. I'm pretty tired. Repeat the question.
How important are money and marriage? But I think you answered it pretty well.
Yeah, I do.
Overall, money is not the end-all, be-all. But you'd be a liar if you didn't say in today's world it wasn't a requirement.
Don't. I'm using Corky as my stand. Please.
Eddie.
Don't.
Eddie, no.
It hasn't fallen apart yet. Let's
Eddie,
not make it
no.
really fall apart.
Edward.
Eden.
One take. That's what makes these things fun. 11. How did the physical aspect of the marriage change from when you were married? My brain didn't comprehend that.
I don't
Read
think.
that to me one more time. Is that the...
How did the physical aspect of the marriage change from when you were married?
See, you put me in a spot because how do I answer that in front of me? I mean, it hasn't changed. I still think she's absolutely beautiful, and we still kiss, and we still love each other, and we're physical with each other, but I don't know, your priorities change. In the courting period, you're very obsessed with stuff like that. As time moves on, at least for me, I mean, other things take more priority. What would you say?
I still think you're the most handsome man ever, and but like I said, I don't think it really for us ever changed because I felt like we were always like when we were living with each other beforehand. I thought that we were like I would already introduce him as my husband sometimes, like because we were, So to me, it never changed.
Edward, no. Right, next question.
12. How important are similar values and/or religion?
I would say out of a scale of 10, 12. If you don't line up with the same views, at least for me,
Oh yeah,
if you don't line
100%.
up with the same views socially and religion and stuff like that, you're gonna have a lot of trouble. I'm just being honest.
Oh yeah, 100%. You have to have some values are the same to have a marriage, make it work, and
Now, this is something that I find interesting because Mrs. Strauss has let it known in class that her husband actually was Jewish, if I'm not mistaken, before he converted. Which is...
So I guess I should adjust my statement when I say religion. Just because you have the same religious opinions and views of something doesn't mean you're in a different religion, right?
Okay.
There are plenty of things that Jews and Catholics agree on, even though we're not the same religion. I think it comes down more to values, like your mother said. Basic core values of what you want to get out of life, what you want to put into life, where you want to end up. That matters a lot, Certain things can be, I've changed a lot from when I first met your mother, but there's certain things that aren't gonna change, and we're always gonna be similar.
I agree.
I agree.
So every time I poke you, just say, I agree.
I agree.
It's like a button.
I agree.
13. What advice would you give teenagers who are dating and thinking about getting married? As in, not me.
Teenagers that are dating and thinking about getting married?
Yes. I'm not even on the dating scene.
I would just say date, right? I would never get married really young in life. I would just wait, because once you do wait, you find your soulmate or your perfect person and that you mesh with. That's like you have to mesh with the person, and if you're gonna marry, like I would tell a younger person, even that you have to I would wait. It's not, I would say just date and have fun.
Yes, you don't have to be nosy. You can stick your head in.
I had you when I was 20.
What?
So I can say this wholeheartedly. There's plenty of time for stuff. I would tell somebody in their teenage years thinking about getting married that there's no rush to it. Plenty of time. You can date for a while. Be sure that somebody's the one.
Yeah.
I've only been married once. Your mother's only been married once. We don't want to change that. I was going to be very, 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 very sure before I took that step.
That's a smart thing to do, in my opinion. I want to live the rest of your life with someone that you clash with, like, literally 24/7,
No, you're going to clash with people.
Like, the same question. What advice would you give to a young married couple that is experiencing marital difficulties and thinking about divorce?
Try working at it one more time and talking to that person.
Like, sit down, think about it. Have
Think
an
about
actual
it before
talk
you
about
do it, because once you, like, I've never been through it, but of course, like, I've known people who have gotten divorced and everything, and then some people have regretted it, and at the end, you want to make sure it's something you want, because it's final. There is no going back.
Anything in this world is worth it. Worth it is worth fighting for. Like, I've yet to meet a marriage where
Till time.
the people never argue. Like, when you don't argue, that kind of to us, and look, too much arguing is a bad thing, but to a certain extent, if you never argue, that almost says you don't care. Like,
I agree on that one.
healthy arguing
Yeah.
is not a bad thing. You know, over the top arguing is no good. Would be my answer to that question.
There's like a middle ground somewhere.
You're not always going to be right, and you're going to want to argue your point. Anybody that says they're never going to argue is just not being human. Like, as long as you respect each other, you know, or always try to. That's what matters.
Okay, after that special question that kind of took down the tone a bit, you saw him stick his head in, Mrs. Strauss. His name is Aiden. He's the little star of our family. He likes the attention, so give him the attention he had for like the last 2 seconds. Yay, Aiden! Okay, back to the question.
Okay.
15. Looking back, what would you do differently if you could?
Nothing.
I gotta
I
agree.
gotta be honest. Like,
I'm not
I
saying
could say that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would like. There probably are things that I would go back and little bit probably change, but
What she said? Was that his head?
no, it was his foot. But like, it's been one of, like, I have to say, one of the best rides in my whole entire life. The last 13, going on 13 years of being together, from everywhere to traveling. We've done it all. Like, and I wouldn't change my partner in the world to do it with. Like, to be honest with you.
Sometimes in a journey, if you change the turns you make, you end up in a different spot. I'm perfectly okay with where I ended up. I love my 3 boys. I love my wife. You know, is there little things I might want to
No!
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 There we go. Come here, you.
You love your life?
I guess my point of what I was saying is sometimes, you know, you sit there and say, well, I would change this. Well, if you change one thing in the butterfly effect, you end up in a completely different spot, you know? If I held off on having you, maybe I wouldn't have had him, and then I wouldn't have had him, and then I would, you know?
Yeah.
So, come here.
16. What would you say is the key to a happy marriage?
Sorry, I'm wearing shorts in there, by the way. Flash your teacher.
Key to a happy
I don't know, when I have a happy marriage, I'll let you know.
Just being honest with each other and talking to each other, and if you can't communicate with each other, there is no marriage to begin with. If, like, you know, you have to be able to talk to the person, and if you can't talk to the person,
Communication.
is a key.
Key to a happy marriage is the same as the key to a happy life and a happy everything. Be okay with you. Be okay with where you're at. If you're happy in your marriage, be happy in your marriage. The best I can offer, you know, be happy in your life. There's no secret handbook. Like, if you want to do something in your marriage, do it. That's how you're happy. No regrets.
YOLO.
YOLO.
Yeah,
Not like to an extent YOLO.
And don't sweat the small stuff.
'Cause
It's all
everything is
small stuff.
17. Do you think a couple should live together before deciding to get married? Why or why not?
See, I think I'm the wrong person to ask that because we did live with each other.
Well, as I was
before.
gonna say, they're probably not gonna like our answer on this one being a parochial school, but honestly, we lived together before
We got
we
married.
got married because of, you know, situation with grandma here and stuff. But to be honest, I think everybody should kind of. I mean, you have to be prepared to live with somebody else. It's a culture shock. You know, things you're used to having your own
Space.
space with is now shared in a far more intimate way than with siblings or with parents or, you know.
You have to share each other. Like, it takes a lot. And, like, I will agree. Living with him before.
Like you stealing daddy's shirts all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But what's cool about that is I know that we're still living together not because we didn't want to get a divorce. Like, we were living together at a point where if we wanted to give up, we could just, she could move back home. And it wasn't like, oh, we had to keep living together because we were married and I didn't want to get a divorce. We lived together at a point we weren't forced to, I guess, is what I'm trying. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm exhausted.
Well, then in that case, I'm sure you're glad to hear that we've asked the last question, my only question that I've come up with. I don't think it's a good one, but
Sure,
I
it's
gave
fabulous.
I worded this weirdly. This time have a part in marriage. Like, as you go on, there's time where you down, help you guys stick together, or just not really affect anything. It's the 10th. I figure it's a good question for the 10th year, you know?
Yes. But only because I think age is relevant too. And obviously the more years you have in a marriage, the older you get, the more you mature, the more you look at shit. I don't look at stuff the same way I do now as when I did 12 years ago. You know, I pick my battles more. And I don't even know if that's necessarily a result of being in a marriage for a certain amount of time, or it's just being a certain age and maturing and learning those life lessons. I feel like you're interviewing me, not us. Like, I'm supposed to tap her and she says something.
Hello. Hello.
What's your answer, Bubba?
I have
Does
no-
time have an effect on marriage?
No. It's. No. Time. You have to make time and put effort and spend more. That's how I take the question. More
What he
quality.
meant, I think, was
As time goes on,
On air.
does-
being married 10 years. How is? Do you look at the marriage the same way in 10 years as you did?
Oh no! From when we first got married, no, it was. I've gotten older, and I think wiser. You know,
Pretty.
and prettier.
Oh, you two are so cute together.
So,
You know,
What do you mean? I was ugly when you met me?
what do you mean?
no.
I think that's like still the number one rule of women. It's what you don't say that matters, apparently, right? That's like a thing I've heard on Reddit.
Happy wife,
Happy wife, happy life.
Yes,
It's up there.
These are my mom. You know.
So, everyone get your party poppers out. I don't need filler. We're at the 23-minute mark. Woo! Pop, pop, confetti, confetti.
Why?
Yay!
Why?
Bye, Mr. Strauss.
Thank you for an amazing year, and thank you for being an awesome college advisor or whatever it was called.
Thanks for answering my emails.
Thank you. See ya in class tomorrow
I'm
for the final
Spider-Man.
Flip to it. Volley.